What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One. Welcome to another live stream of Based on a True Story podcast. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. You dig? So, story time, story time, story time. I'm going to tell y'all the time. And this is pretty much the beginning of my sexual journey. This would be the beginning of I'm trying to bring sexy back. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to label this one called 30-year-old version. I was late getting my groove on. I was super late getting my groove on. Okay? I wasn't like most people. Like most people, they get they first one like around 17, 18, 19, early 20s, okay? Some guys get their first piece in middle school, junior high, high school, before and after the prom. Maybe they get their first piece or their first opportunity of some skank, like when they go to college or when they, go overseas or go to the military, things of that nature. Man, I got my first opportunity real late, like super late. Okay. Now, there's a reason why. I was a very, very shy when I was super young. So I didn't develop no true game or how to approach women or how to talk to women. You dig what I'm saying? I wasn't familiar in those streets. So, but I would hear all of my friends talk about, their first time or when they, you know, gotten some from a female. But basically, I don't know why my damn thing is doing that. I don't get that. Okay. But yeah, this will be my first time getting some. Okay. So, like I said, I started super, super late. I wasn't like, most of you players out there. And I'm going to tell you the first opportunity I gotten some. First time I got some, which, well, I thought I got some. Okay. You're probably asking yourself, you're probably listening to this live stream going, what do you mean you thought you got some? Okay. I can never forget it. So I got turned down throughout high school. I had one opportunity to get some, and that was during the prom. Okay. I went to the prom 2 times. I went to the prom in the 11th grade, and I went to the prom when I was a senior. The first prom when I went to as an 11th grader, I basically went to the prom because, of this girl. She was a very good looking girl. For some strange reason, I don't know if it was luck or her background. I don't know what happened. No guy wanted to take her to the prom. So she asked me, she said, can you take me to the prom? I said, no big deal. It's an experience. I'm 11. I'm looking at it as I'm an 11th grader. I'm taking out a senior to the prom. That's a highlight. That should be the highlight of my moment, right? Took her to the prom. And it was just basically when when it's your first time going to the prom, you be having all these weird fantasies about the prom. Like, it's supposed to be this grand ballroom and supposed to be mysterious and fun and popular and all that, be popping and things of that nature. When I was in the 11th grade and I took this chick to the prom, it was just like a regular old date to me. It was just a regular date to me, except we had tuxedos on and she had a gown. All right. Took her to the prom. We had fun. We talked a little bit. We danced a little bit. We chit chatted with other people. We went out and got something to eat. Then, after that, I took her home. Okay. That was pretty much the beginning and the end of my journey going to. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up of going to the prom. Okay. So, senior day, when I became a senior, I said to myself, I'm gonna up the ante. I'm just not gonna take anybody to the prom, and that's it. I'm gonna have a good time at the prom. I'm going to, take somebody that I'm gonna get the opportunity of smashing after the prom. Okay, so I'm thinking I should be the big man on campus. I took a senior to the prom, and I was in the 11th grade. I'm a senior now. I'm a little bit more popular. I'm more seasonal now. I'm thinking I'm a great catch to other females. Okay. And I was overthinking it. I'm looking at it as, with this type of resume, who couldn't resist me? What female would not ask if they want me to take them to the prom? See, I was thinking that way instead of, you got to think of yourself as a fisherman. You got to go out there and catch a catch. You just can't just sit in the boat and the fish just hop on into the boat. You got to do some work to get that perfect one. So I was thinking of it the other way, and man, had no luck. No female was interested on that format of asking me, do they want me to take them to the prom? Had no luck. Okay, so I had this friend, and his name was Jerry Berry. Okay, and I was telling him, I said, yeah, man, I done struck out. No females are interested in me. Just not my year. You dig what I'm saying? I was just gonna just chalk it up as a loss. Okay. So what if I don't go to the prom in the 12th grade? At least I went to the prom when I was in the 11th grade. That's how I was gonna chalk up the experience. Okay, it was no big deal. So he was going like, hey, yo, I know it's gonna sound strange, but my sister wants to go to the prom, but nobody wants to take her. And his sister name is D Berry. Now, forgot. Oh man, I had all these. What's up? Oh, I'm so sorry, folks. My bad. I'm gonna catch up real fast, real quick. Jason, can I be a mod? Jason, please. Hold up. God dang it, they go so fast. I am the chosen one. Hi, how you doing? Jason, subscribe. How are you? Hi, what's up, guys? I'm sorry about that. I was so in tune into the story, I didn't even look in the chat box, okay? I do apologize, okay? But back to the story. I like to appreciate everyone that gave me a thumbs up. I like to appreciate everyone that has subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate that. Solid. What's your name? I'm Chris the Don 1. Of course, that's my name. Okay. So, her name was D Berry. Now, D Berry, I'm gonna describe D Berry, appearance. Okay. D Berry was short, dark skin, had short hair. She had that short haircut style, like Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, Nicole Murphy. She rocks it sometimes. Toni Braxton rocks it sometimes. I think Halle Berry rocks it sometimes as well. That little short bob cut. Okay, so she got that going on. Got a fat ass. I ain't gonna lie to you. Got a fat ass. Got a slender waist. Got some nice real estate in the chest region. I mean, on the outside looking in, if you look at D, like if you see her walking across the street, you're gonna be like, damn, fine as hell. Okay, what's wrong with her, Chris? What's the problem, Chris? You went from no one talking to you to D talk hollering at you. That's a great find, brother. You should be cool. You should be okay with that. Okay, allow your boy to explain. D was fundamentally challenged. Just put it that way. She was just fundamentally challenged. D was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I remember when she was, in kindergarten, she used to chew boogers. She used to eat boogers. You dig what I'm saying? So she's on that spectrum. Okay? And D comes off kind of creepy to a lot of guys. Okay? I mean, to everyone in particular. Okay? So, but I said to myself, look, I'm kind of desperate. I'm in a spot here. Technically, I really don't want to go to the prom, but the only time I'm probably going to go to the prom, maybe if I take her to the prom, people see I took her to the prom, particularly females. Hell, I might get some action, after the prom. They see, man, he went to the prom back to back. He went to the prom back to back. That's, some good credentials for a brother. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm taking D to the prom, but, having two girls, taking them back to back, that's some good, credentials for your boy, okay? So I'm looking at it from that viewpoint. So told Jerry, I'll talk to his sister. I came to Jerry's house. Me and Jerry, was chilling. And then he hits me on the back, said, hey man, go talk to my sister, man. See, I tell her that you gonna take her to the prom. So I said, okay, cool. So I saw her coming down the steps, and before she reached the bottom of the steps, I said, hey D, I was wondering, do you want me to take you to the prom? Of course she's gonna say yes. Okay, why not? Okay, I'm Krista Don 1. Why wouldn't you say anything else but yes? Okay, now seriously, it's not like that. So she said yes. All right, okay, I'm cool with it. She cool with it, I'm cool with it. Her brother's cool with it, parents are cool with it, everybody's cool with it. You dig what I'm saying? So next day come rolling around. It ain't no big deal to me. I'm taking her to the prom. I'm doing a favor for her. But at the same time, I'm showing the other candidates out there that, hey, man, I'm blessed. I got to be doing something right. I went to the prom back to back. Call me Mr. Two Times. 2 times. I mean, 2 times. All right. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at it as a big brother, little sister type deal. Because I wasn't feeling D that way. Okay? So I'm at school chilling. Then next thing I know, in school, you do weird things when you're a teenager. You don't know no better. You just do weird things. So everybody was messing with me. I took it as everyone's picking on me, but everyone's messing with me that, I'm taking D to the prom. And at first, I was co-signing to it. I ain't had no issue telling people, yeah, I'm going to take her to the prom, so what? But then people started, ad-libbing, putting a little sauce in the game, things of that nature, and, calling, D a Riri, a booger eater, you know what I'm saying? Just, started, just joking on me for the fact that we was going to the prom, okay? And it gotten so bad, it just gotten so bad. So I'm thinking to myself, who in the hell told anybody that I was taking D to the prom? Come to find out it was this heifer, okay? D ran around telling everybody that I was going to take her to the prom. But she was telling everybody like we was going together. And, look, I'm not trying to go with D. You dig what I'm saying? But when we got off the bus, me, Jerry, D, we was all walking home. So, I'm talking to him. We go to his house. He runs into the house. I don't know why he ran into the house. Because the reason why I was walking anyway was to talk to him. So he ran to us. He said, I'm going to let y'all two, have some quality time, winking. Okay. I thought that was kind of weird. So he ran off. So I said, this would be a perfect opportunity to, just tell her like, you know what, D, I thought about it. I know I said I was going to take you to the prom, but I thought about it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that particular night off, and I try to squash it right then and there. Okay, next day come rolling around. I'm thinking I'm out of the clear. Now people still throwing that stuff in the atmosphere that me and D go together, but I'm telling everybody like, yo, I don't know why y'all saying that because me and D, you know, uh, you know, I'm not taking to the prom. Someone else is taking to the prom. Okay. Week goes by. I'm thinking I'm all good. Okay. Then Jared comes rolling up to me talking about, hey, yo, man, you need to fix it, man. I'm saying, like, fix what? What you talking about? He said, well, my sister, now she's kind of upset about it. She's been crying about it, that you don't broke up with her. I'm going, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't break up with her. You got to be together before you can say we broke up. We was never together. I just, I was trying to do you a solid. I was trying to do you a favor by taking your sister to the prom because no one was asking her to go to the prom with them. Okay. So he's going like, yeah, she's taking it hard and, she's this, she's that, you know. I'm not paying it no mind. I'm just like, okay, cool. All right. So what? What you want me to do about it? Okay. So I go home. I get off the bus, walk home, go upstairs. And then I'm up there listening to music. Next thing I know, my mom is calling me downstairs. So I'm like, what the hell? So stop playing the music, come down the steps, and I asked my mom, what's going on? She said, well, the Berries I just got off the phone with them, and they was telling me that you offered to take Jerry's sister to the prom. I said, yeah, in the beginning, because no one didn't ask her and this, that, and the third. And I thought I was trying to do her a favor. And she said, yeah. And then they told me that you done told her that you don't want to take her to the prom. And I said, yeah, that's true too. She said, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, son. You do whatever you want to do, but breaking people's hearts like that. Whoa, 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 Mom, what you talking about breaking somebody's heart? Because we wasn't going together. I'm looking at it as, oh, you think we go together, therefore you think I don't broke her heart, okay? And then she had to break it down to me. She basically said, like, yo, look, sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do. Okay, but if you told her you was going to do something and you don't do it, okay, then that means that you don't keep your word. You don't keep your promises. Okay, and that's not the type of son that I raised. Okay, so after a couple of minutes of that, this, that, and the third, I said, okay, you know what, Mom, you right. Saw her the next day. No, I called her and told her, I'm like, hey, I done rethought about it. I'm in a, do you still want to go to the prom? Of course she wants to go to the prom. She said yes. Okay, cool. All right. So a month after that, the prom comes around the corner. Okay, here comes the prom. All right. When I woke up, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in the prom. Okay, I'm doing this off the strength of I made a promise. I gotta follow through my promises. Okay, that's the only reason why I'm taking her to the prom. Okay, so got a limo service. Limo service pulled up to her house. I come out the car door. I open up their front door, and her parents were in the living room, and then they're saying, "Oh, you look nice." This and the third. They wanted to take pictures. Hold on one second, folks. Yeah, they wanted to take pictures and stuff like that. It's getting too cold in here, man. It's getting too cold for your boy. Okay, so they wanted to take pictures with your boy. This, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, all right. So I took a couple of pictures with, thanks for the thumbs up. I took a couple of pictures because they said that I was rocking the tuxedo, as you should take pictures, okay? So I'm waiting for D to come downstairs. So D comes downstairs. I'm gonna be honest with you. D was banging. D, all that stuff, all that energy I had of, hey man, I'm just doing it for the culture. I'm doing it because I'm keeping a promise, this, that, and the third. I'm on my man. I'm thinking like a man, acting like a gentleman. All that stuff just flew out the window. Boy, when I saw D in that dress, first and foremost, she had a white long dress, and it cut every inch of her curves. Her breast region was exposed. Okay, dark women, when they get lotion up, man, it just looks moist. Okay, hairdo, she had her hairdo was rocking. She had some makeup on. D looked totally different than the D that I'm accustomed of seeing at school. Okay, D does not look like the D that eats boogers. Okay, D looks like a baddie. Okay, she's a B, but she ain't a booger eater. She's a baddie. Okay, what in the world? Okay, you have to go to the beginning, my friend. Quick, go to the beginning, my friend. Okay, this is story time. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, she's looking fine. She come down the stairs, like I said, all that machismo, and I'm doing the right thing, and I'm doing it for the culture. All that stuff just went right out the window. The only thing I was thinking about when D was coming down the steps was, man, I'm going to smash D. Okay, I'm smashing her. I wasn't even interested in her that way. When women put on some makeup and put on a tight-fitting dress, they just look different. The energy is just different. Okay, so I gave her corsage. I had a corsage. I gave her like one of those little bracelet type things. I put it on her arm, and she even smelled good. We hop into the limo. We go to the prom. She's having a good time. I'm having a good time. Everyone. Everybody's, when we came into the building, everyone had an image of D as the booger eater, the one that looks awkward and weird and things of that nature. That was before we got into the building. When we got in the building, all eyes was on D. Male, female, teacher, principal, the DJ, the people from the party on the second floor. Everybody was looking at D. And everybody was complimenting D on how good she looked. Okay, now D don't look like that person that we had an image of 6 hours ago. Now she looks like something else. Okay, so the whole mood and energy changed. Okay, the girl, all the girls want to start hanging around her, talking to her, and things of that nature. Guys looking at her, complimenting her, and I'm feeding into all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I stepped up on this one. I slipped up and got a dime. I wasn't even thinking on it on that type of time. So, like I said, we had a party. We went to the party. We kicked it. I went to take her to eat. And when we went to go out to eat, that's when we met up with her brother. And her brother had his date. So we all double dated, went to this steak house, and we was eating. And, then all of a sudden, how everything could be going great. Have you ever met someone that everything's going great, everything's going well, and then they say that one awkward thing or that one dumb thing, and now it done changed. It done changed everything. Have you ever met somebody like that? That was deep. Okay, so we up here, having a good time. Everybody's kicking it. Everybody's enjoying the ambiance and all that jazz. And then D comes up with a story talking about, well, if you having a good time, and like, well, first she asked me whether I having a good time. I said, yeah. I said, are you having a good time? She said, cool. She said, don't you think if we were together, we can have more good times like this? I'm going like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I'm not thinking long term with you. At first, in the beginning, I'm thinking about just doing my due diligence to take you to the prom. I see you in this get up. Now I'm thinking about smashing you, and now you talking about making this forever, ever, ever. Okay, I wasn't even on that particular time, D. All right, so I said, yeah. She just totally changed the vibe and everything. And then all I can think about is getting out. I just want to get out of this situation and go home. Okay, so the driver takes us home, and the driver takes her home. She goes in the we pulled up to her house, and she's saying like, hey, if my parents are asleep, you can come upstairs and you can spend the night with me. I'm like, okay, cool, all right. And she gets out the limo. She goes upstairs, and all I can see is she turned her light on in the bedroom. She turned it on in the living room, turned it off, went upstairs, went to her room, turned the lights on, and she's just looking at me through the window, giving me the nod, saying it's okay. Her parents are asleep, giving me the okay, and I can come up there. All right. So when she said that, have you ever had second thoughts? It just seems like I just had second thoughts at that moment. And then at that moment, I'm saying to myself, if I do it too well, I'm going to be stuck like Chuck with this heifer. Okay? Or if an accident happens, Lord hopes it doesn't happen, but what if an accident do happen? I get her pregnant. Now I'm stuck with her for 18 years. All right? Because, we got a kid. I got to take care of the kid. I got to take care of her. So I'm looking at it like, nah, man, this ain't the right move. This ain't the right play. So I told the limo driver to drive off. Okay? So I drove off and just left her hanging. All right? I want to say 20 years after that, I saw D again. And she's like one of those, she's like one of those, hold up. She's like one of those crossing guards at a school and shit. And I can still remember this day like it was yesterday. I was shopping, and she pulls up. I was in the aisle, and then she pulls up into an aisle, and she says, "Chris, is that you?" And I turn around and say, "Hey, what's up, D?" D still looks the same. She got a little thickness to her, but she looks all right. And then she was telling me about her life, that the stuff that I didn't know about, because the last time I saw her was me taking her to the prom. That was the last time I saw her. So basically she talked about her going to school, getting her degree, she done met somebody, she got pregnant, now she's got 2 kids, she's not married to them, but they still a couple and all that. I'm going like, okay, good. So say all that to say this. She walks a little bit closer up to me, and then she said, that night when you took me to the prom? I said, yeah, I remember that night. Of course I do. She said, and you remember when you took me home and I told you that if my parents were asleep, you can come upstairs and spend the night with me. I said, yeah, I remember that. She said, well, my parents were asleep. I had no issues with you coming upstairs. You could have gotten some that night. I'm playing it off going like, oh man, I done messed up. I could have gotten some D-berry pie. I'm trying to make a jokey. I'm trying to lighten up the mood and stuff. And, after we talked a little bit about that, I went on and apologized. I said, I was a little kid. I was young, dumb, and full of you know what. She said, I wish I had some of that you know what in me. I said, oh, come again. Say what? And she said, oh, never mind. So, she went her way, I went my way. I haven't seen her since then. Okay. And after I had that moment, I said to myself, that was probably the best thing I could have done, was to break off with her. Let her do her thing. I'm going to do mine. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the story on me being a virgin. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this YouTube channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? I'm up out of here. Deuces. I'm gone. See y'all later, guys. Really do appreciate the support. Really do appreciate the likes. Really do appreciate the subscribes. Okay? See y'all back better than ever. Deuces.